Well, we did a study a few years ago called the Green Dividend, which looked at the connection between conservation in the form of driving less and its impact on the economy. And our thinking in this was really prodded by former Vice President Dick Cheney, who was a skeptic about conservation and intoned in his gravelly voice that it was sort of well-meaning self-denial but not economically viable way of doing things. And we thought about it and we thought actually there's some real economic benefits to conservation and particularly to driving less, because if people drive less, that means that they spend less money on cars and less money on keeping up cars and less money on gasoline than they would if they drove more. So as a test case, we looked at Portland, Oregon, which is a metropolitan area of about 2 million people in the United States. It's about the 25th largest metro in the U.S. And people in Portland drive about 20% less on average than the typical American. They drive about 20 miles per person per day as opposed to about 24 miles per person per day. And that 4 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but if you do the math, at about a cost of 50 cents or so for running an automobile for the average mile, and over the course of a year and over the size of the population of Portland, it works out to about $1 billion a year collectively that people in Portland are not spending on cars and gasoline that they have to spend on everything else. And so we think that's the green dividend. And the great thing about that is the less you drive, the more money that's available to households. And that $1 billion has exactly the same economic impact as if you had created another $1 billion worth of payroll or given everybody a $1 billion raise. I think people are beginning to see the importance of this. One of the things that we've noticed is, as the price of gasoline in the United States has approached and exceeded $4 a gallon. Households are paying a much greater attention to it. We're seeing driving starting to go down in the United States. It's gone down about 9% from the peak in 2007. So I think it's dawning on people that this is a very expensive way to organize our communities, and from a local economic development perspective, building that much of your community around driving and making it dependent on driving is an economic liability to your citizens. So the more that you can create choices for people to drive shorter distances and have good alternatives to driving to meet all of their daily needs, the stronger economically your local community can be.